Osborne's budget be unravelling over disability cuts. Discontent is brewing amongst Tory backbenchers. And joining me now is the disability rights campaigner Kaz Aston. Kaz, it's tempting inevitably to see every cut as callous. The Chancellor was clear there that he's keen to see money reach the right people. It's not an infinite supply of money. What is the problem with the proposed changes to PIP?
Well, I think really, for me, it's looking at over 200,000 people that are going to potentially lose up to, £3,000 a year. And, you're on a reduced income anyway, because you're quite often unable to work. So that's going to take more pressure, to take people to, try to earn some more money, or how they're going to manage is a big question. But also, as well, it's putting a lot of extra pressure on their health. And ultimately, we've got to remember they've got a disability, and stress isn't good for that. So it's going to really, really push them under the knife. What
sort of things would they be spending that £3,000 on at the moment?
Well, to be honest, they could be spending it on extra care, extra support to manage their health, also so they can go to work, so they can actually try to do a little bit more with their life, or education. Because most people with a disability don't want to give up. They actually want to look at a better way, a more sustainable way to carry on, taking an active role in society.
And yet, as I mentioned, the supply of money isn't infinite. So, I mean, both David Burrows and George Osborne pointing out that the overall expenditure is going up. As a country, we spend more on looking after disabled people than we do, for example, on defence. There's nothing necessarily wrong with that. But there has to come a point at which government has the right, surely, to say, well, maybe we can save a bit there.
Well, if you think about it, I suppose, if you're trying to cut money, you've got to cut money. However, people that are trying to maintain their health, to keep as well as they can, and most importantly, as independent as they can, they need a bit of support to do that. And the fact is, if you put more stress and pressure on them, that's not going to do their health. So it's a bit of a kind of negative knock-on, isn't it, really?
But possibly, although, I mean, we are looking at just 44% of the 5.5 million working-age individuals in the UK who have a work-limiting health condition, being in work, being employed. You mentioned people might have to find ways to raise more money. I don't want to sound like the sort of child catcher out of Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, but working might be a way.
Well, yeah, I mean, there is different solutions that people are looking at, because a lot of people, don't want to give up work. They want to look at different ways. People with MS, like I've got, quite often have to retire a bit earlier because they can't maintain the pace of work. Plus also, as well, with MS, more women have it than men. They've got to look after children and extra pressures as well with normal, lifestyles. So there's a lot of extra pressures all going on the body, which, for example, MS finds that really hard. Stress, all the pressure, it's really difficult to live with.
Of course. A couple of Conservative MPs breaking ranks today. I'm hearing that quite a few more might be waiting in the wings. Who's speaking for you politically at the moment? Who is speaking for the recipients of this?
Well, this is the thing, you see. I mean, there's a lot going on. There's lots of good charities doing some really good work. But, this seems to have been rushed through really quickly. And for me, I think, yes, of course, we need to be making cutting costs all the time to keep, the country going. However, sometimes, you do need to put a bit more thought into it.
Is anyone championing disabled people in this car? I know Jeremy Corbyn has accused the government of waging war on them. Who's defending them?
Well, I don't feel really that I've got many people in my team, to be honest. I think we're having to fight for ourselves because there's so many different agendas going on. And, it's quite lonely. And when you're trying to manage your health, you're trying to manage your lifestyle, to keep as well as you can, you do feel alone.
Of course. Kaz Aston, many thanks indeed.